Right, let's start today's session. So in the last session, we were discuss about how to set up Django. Okay, so step by step we discuss. So using command prompt through how to create a Django project and how to load that Django project into PyCharm professional editor, we were discussing in the last session. And also, how to create virtual environment and also how to activate that virtual environment. Okay. So let's open PyCharm Professional Editor and let's open existing application, existing project into this PyCharm Professional Editor, sir. So let's go to search and type PyCharm. You'll be able to see this PyCharm Professional Editor. This is, let's open it. And in this, I'm just trying to open a project which I created in the last session. So this is PyCharm Professional Editor. It's the latest editor 2022. So in this editor, I need to open existing project which I created in the last session on desktop. Like DJ 9 p.m. is the folder. In this folder, so we have created project like Django project 9 p.m. In this project application also created, that is my app. Okay. Yeah. Now it's loading recent project which I was open. But let me open your project. Yes. So this is open now. But it's not your project which I was created in the last session. So it's a recently which project I worked on it. So that project is loading right now here. Okay, let me open our existing project. So you just click on file menu in PyCharm editor. Go to open. Now in desktop, I just created in the last session one folder called DJ 9 p.m. In this folder, I just created Django project 9 p.m. and click on OK. Click on this window. So this is our project, sir. In the left hand side, you can see this project level files and folders. These are project level files: asgi.py, settings.py, urls.py, wsgi.py. I will discuss in detailed files also, each and every file, what purpose it can be used and why it is required. Okay. And also inside this application, you can see application level files are different, like migrations, init.py, admin.py, apps.py, models, test, view. Inside the Django project, you can create any number of applications, how many you want, sir. Okay. So how many applications you want to create, you can create. Number of applications you can create easily here. But every time you can notice that anytime if you create a new application into this Django project, so compulsory you should include that into settings.py of your project. Now you can see in settings.py, just double click on it. So inside the settings.py, this is settings.py. Settings.py file is a global file actually. So you can see this under installed apps. So is there any application is configured under installed apps? No. So we create this application like my app in the previous session through command prompt one by one. So I created this application by passing command like python space manage.py space start app my app. But as soon as when we create application under the project, you must and should install this application name into this installed apps of settings.py of your project. So this is your project. In this settings.py file is there. This is global file, we can say settings.py file. So in this under the installed apps, compulsory, you have to include your application name, my app. So let's see this here, my app. Already some built-in apps are there, like django.contrib.admin, authentication app, content types app, session apps, message app, static files app. But I am including my app also here. So compulsory I have to include, sir. Then only Django server can recognize the request which is going from my app. Okay. So Django server can recognize the request which is going from my app only. So I included my app here clearly under installed app. So this is the first step every time we should do, sir, after creating a new application into your project. So this is my app I included. Fine. So after that, you can go to terminal and try to run the server. Yesterday we just did we did that server running. Let's go to terminal window. Now note this point here in this terminal window. Okay. So this right now you are not in your virtual environment. You can see this, you are not under your virtual environment. Okay. So you are in normal system environment here. But yesterday I just created in desktop DJ 9 p.m. and virtual environment name is what? My env. If you want to activate this virtual environment in the PyCharm professional editor also, so you can use this command like // my env /scripts /activate. So this command is required, sir. You want to move to your virtual environment, then / my env /scripts /activate. Press enter. Now you are in your virtual environment like my env. Now to start this server, then command is python space manage.py run server. I'm using here python space manage.py run server. So server is giving some what we can say address. This is http 127.0.0.1. This is called IP address of server and port number is 8000. Once I click on this link, now you can see Django is created, server is run successfully. You got that notification from this Django server. Okay, if you get this window, then automatically you can assume that your Django server is responding very well. It's working fine, right? So today I'm going to write a little bit codes are here. Okay, so you can see this in the local window. Again, so much of code is generated. You want to go back to your command prompt here, Control C, I recommend. Or if you want to clear the screen here, this one is completely text CLS, I just recommend. Okay, this is your virtual environment. This is called terminal window. You can run this your server and create application and all. So look at this. I need to show you the execution process of Django, how the execution is going to happen. Sir. Okay. So let's draw a diagrammatic representation. Then how Django execution is going to take. Means how we can send a request and how request is going to be processed. So first of all, Django is client server based architecture. So client will send request to the server, sir. So here it is client, assume that. Client is sending request to the server. The request directly goes to actually Django server, sir. This is Django server. Okay. So here I'm using Django server. Django server. Django server. Server will take the request from the client, and after that, Django server can identify the according to client request can identify the URLs. URLs are very important in this web development process. So URLs configuration, we have to give urls.py file only there. So Django server can identify the client request, and it will identify client is looking for what address based on this URLs only. So using URLs, Django server can recognize client is requesting for which view. So that will be redirected to views.py file. View is nothing but Python logic, I said. So immediately it will go to what actually views.py file. In case client has sent request to the views for getting any data from database, then the view can communicate with models. So there is a models are there. So according to MBT pattern, models.py file is there, models. And view, if it is required, view can communicate with what? Models. And view, if it is required to get the data from database, and view can communicate with model. From model onwards, view will get the response. View will get the response. That view can give the response to template only. But actually, as I said, that model is not completely database. It's a model is just a representation of the database. Later model will communicate with the database here. Okay, in case if user is sending request to bring the data from database, and then model can communicate with the respective database, and it will fetch the data from there. So this is actually database here. It is DB. SQLite 3 or MySQL or whatever it is. Now coming to this, Weave is only going to take responsible to send the response to template only. Here templates are available. Template means HTML. Final response should be displayed to the HTML only. So this view will give the response to template finally, sir. So this is exactly Django request and response process is going to happen. Right now, I may not introduce models and templates, but I can able to start work with views only because Vue is a Python logic. So once again, I'm telling you, sir, as a client, we need to send request to server, and immediately Django server take that request and it will process. In the process, Django server can identify the URLs. So client is sending request through which URL, that URLs can locate. So this URLs through Django server can send request to views, particular view. So that view is a Python logic. In this Python logic, if you write the code like fetching the data from database, then view will communicate with models.py file. Models.py file can communicate with the database, and it will fetch, and that models will give response to views only. View can collect the data from models. Then finally, we only take responsible to send response to template only. So this is final output where we see exactly in the template only, that is HTML format, like UI only, user interface. Okay. So this is the thing. So let's write some logic in the view section, how the execution flow is going to happen. You can just try to find out. Okay. Yes. So inside the application, see here, inside the application, I'm using view section here. You can see view section is there. Views. View is a Python logic, I said. View is a Python logic. View is a Python logic. So this Python logic, you can see this from Django dot shortcuts dot import render is there already, one library. And they are saying creating your views here. We need to create a view. So view is Python logic. How we can create views are, in generally, views can be of two types. Like function based view is there, class based view is there. So initially, I'm going to start with function-based view. In our upcoming sessions of Django, anyway, we will discuss about class-based views also. You know how to create a function in Python. Def, my function name is v1. V1 is a view name or function name also you can call it as. And this function is need to be required one request object because we need to send request through this v1 view only, function only. In the return, Django server will give response. Look at here, I'm just writing return HTTP response. But note this point, HTTP response is not available. Underline red squiggly is available. Okay. So I'm giving response. For example, this is my first response. Okay, this is my first response, for example. But look at this, it is giving errors, HTTP response. How to resolve this issue? Or as a Django programmer, you don't know how to get this HTTP response, means you just place mouse pointer over there and you can see this there. IntelliSense is saying clearly import django.http.http response. You can click this link, automatically you can resolve the issue from django.http import HTTP response. This is very simple way to recognize which header file is required for requesting what we can say, which header file is required regarding this HTTP response method. Okay, response class. So HTTP response is coming from django.http import. If you don't know how to write this header file, then this is the better option. Or else you can remove this. Again, you are getting error. No. So I know that how to write HTTP response. Like you can write your own way from django.http import HTTP response. See clearly IntelliSense is coming so that you can get clear alert. So HTTP response is coming, you can import it. In case you don't know how to import it, just place mouse pointer on it after writing this HTTP response, and it will suggest you import library by clicking on the link one. It's very simple, sir. So this is my function based view. Generally in Python, we can define a function by using def keyword. V1 is my function name. Function is having one parameter, that is request parameter. And we are sending request through this view only to the server. And in return, I'm getting response what? HTTP response. This is my first response only. This response is not a template response. It's a normal HTTP response. Server response will be directly landed onto the browser only. Okay. So let's run this. How to run this now? V1. V1 I have to execute. How to execute V1? Look at this diagram. As a client, when we send request, it will go to Django server. But Django server can process your request by identifying what? URLs. So did I include any URLs.py? No, sir. So URLs are very important, sir. Look at here. In this application, are you finding any URLs.py? No, sir. No application can have urls.py by default. But look at this under the project Django project 9 p.m. So do you find urls.py or not? Yes. You can see double click on this urls.py. So in this, all URL are configured right now. So from django.contrib import admin, from django.urls import path, these are the built-in header files automatically available. Now you can see mainly this we have to concentrate. URL patterns equals to admin panel, admin.site.urls. So this is admin URL endpoint or resource we can call it as. But I don't want to go with admin panel, sir. Right now I need to go with what? our own views are. So I'm giving, just look at this. I'm not giving any name of the URL. And now you can see views dot v1. So v1 is our view name. It's a function name. It's a function. This view, I want to run this. That's what I'm giving v1. This v1 is coming from where? Your application views only. That's what views dot v1 I'm giving. But look at here, view is not available here. Why? Because this views should come from which application? This application, my application. So you know in Python modules concept. Module concept is used to use one program stuff into another program. So right now I'm using views.py file into urls.py file. So under this urls.py file, if you want to use my app views, compulsory you need to import what? My app import views. So now error is resolved, sir. Now you can see these views are coming from what? Your application my app. In this application, views is there. Inside the views.py, what is there? F1 is v1 is there. V1 is my function name. So immediately for the first time, when we start the server, look at this. I'm starting the server. So Python space manage.py run server command is there. Just go to terminal and hit this enter button. Now you got this request like http://127. As soon as when we hit this link, that means I'm sending request. When you are sending request, immediately who will respond? Django server, it will directly go to Django server request one. This request will redirect to where? urls.py. So urls.py is available where? Project level. You can see project level. It will go to here. And now coming to this, it will look forward. Admin name is there. So this is not going to be point out because when we give this name only, this will be point out. But here no name is there. No, directly Django server can identify this views.v1 only because this name is not available. Directly views.v1 will call. Views where it is there in my app. It will go to my app. Immediately it will go to my app. In my app, what is there? V1 is there. Look at here inside the views, V1 is there. V1 through we are sending request. In response, what we are getting? This is my first response only. This is the execution flow. Let's try to hit this link. Now you can notice this in the browser response. This is my first response is coming like this. So it's look like small size actually here. Okay. If you want, you can zoom in control plus symbol. Automatically you will be able to get this one. Zoom out, then you can see control minus symbol. So this is, but I want to increase this size, sir. Actually, how I can increase this? Okay. So let's go back to your view section here only for increment the size. Look at this. I'm using some H1 HTML code, H1 tag. In our upcoming session, we'll introduce HTML code also. No problem. And H1, I'm closing this one. But look at this. Because of this H1, I'm doing changes on my view. But whenever you do changes, simply you can do this. After changes, you can go to terminal window and click on this. Automatically, server is reloading. Look at here, reloading is there. So after reloading, you need not to click on every time on this link because already you have loaded the server and browser is also ready available. You can go there and refresh it once. Now you can see this is my first response. It's coming in big size because of I changed the code in this H1 tag through. H1, this is my first response is coming. So this is the function based view. V is there here. V1 is there. Okay. Yes. So now coming to this. Can I include multiple views under one application? And most important thing, you can see this here on the view section. Two header files are there. One is from django.http import http response. Another one is from django.shortcuts.import render. But which is in active mode? This is in active mode. Which is not in active mode? This is only render. So render also it can be used. Difference between http response, render response, what I will tell you. See, here one view is available. It's fine. Okay, sir. Can we include multiple views in the same views.py? Yes, why not? Look at this. I'm including multiple views. One more view. I'm just copying and pasting. So second view I'm creating. That is my v2 only. Now this is my second response. I can say that. Let's try to give second response I'm giving. So this is one function based view. This is another function based view. Okay. But let's set this view also in the URL section under project URLs is there. So every view we have to set that, then only we can able to run, sir. We have to set this. So path, I'm not giving any name. The problem when we don't give any name, I'll show you clearly. Just a moment. Now you can see two views are there. As now let's, after doing changes, again you can go to terminal window and click here. Automatically server is reloading, sir. You can see server is reloading or not. Yes, reloaded, it's ready to run. But look at this. When we hit this link, immediately Django server will respond. Django server can go to urls.py. In the urls.py, based on URL declaration, then you can see this here, which URL is having first actually v1 views.v1 only. So the name is not there directly. It will hit v1 request only, not v2 request. Look at this. Once I hit this link, so we got this what? This is my first response only. Why not second response? Because first it is located what? V1 only. Second not. If I cut this and copy first only second response, now you can see v2. Now this time what it will hit? V2 only will hit. Let's go and reload the server. And server is reloaded. You can go to browser and refresh. This is my second response. So every time, whenever you want to run the particular view inside the views.py, when we have multiple views, every time you should go to URL section and change the URLs like this only. This is not good practice, no? That's where we can just give the name of the URLs or endpoints or resources. So now you can see here I'm taking v1. So I'm clearly giving the v1 slash. And here v2, I'm clearly giving name or any other name also you can take, no problem. So this name, function name, and this name no need to be same, sir. Any name you can give, that's it. Okay, that name through we can send the request. So this is what I'm recommending, that giving the names properly, URL names, because whenever we have multiple views in the same application, this is good practice, sir. Now this time you can go to terminal window, click with the mouse, automatically server is reloaded. I can see this. Now this time when we refresh, it is expecting what page not found 404 is there, but it's expecting some input from the user. Look at here, using the URL configuration defined in Django project 9pm.urls. Django tried these URL patterns in this order. Are you going to use admin or v1 or v2? You can able to select it. How to select? On the URL address, you can go and just give this v1 slash. So this is my first response. And if I try to change this one, now you can see this v2 slash. This is my second response. So it is more conveniently, you can use which view you want to get the response, which view through you want to get the response, that view you can use it, and easily we can be able to get the response on. It's clearly getting the response. So this is the way to work with multiple views by giving its names in the URL patterns in the project level only. Got my point? So let's close this. So what you understand here, in one application, we can include multiple views also. Look at here, views.py is having multiple views here. Okay, v1, v2 is there. So as soon as when we call this v1 function, request will made, and after that getting the response. So it's a default response, HTTP response only. Directly it will open into the browser only. So while sending this response values into browser, it load into h1 through. This is my first response. This is my second response. Fine, sir. Next, sir, can we include multiple application under one project? Yes, because Django project means it's contain like multiple applications only. So every day we need not to go with this application. No, in my upcoming sessions, lot of applications I can create according to our topic. Okay. Yes. So according to our topic, lot of applications we can create. So lot of applications. So that all applications, what application you want, you can run it clearly. So let me create one more application apart from my app. My app is there, but I need to go for my app one also. So creating application purpose, go to terminal and control C. And if you want to clear the screen, you can clear the screen. Now, yesterday I discussed clearly to start to create a new application. This command is required, sir. Python space manage.py start app my app one. I'm giving. Python space manage.py, start app, my app one. So this is a new application I'm creating. Press enter button. So you got a new application successfully created. But how do you check? How do you know that whether it is created or not? You can go to Django project and you can see this click with, and my app one is already available in this project. My app one, my app, both apps are there. But immediately, as soon as when we create a new application, so compulsory you need to go to where? Settings.py file of your project. There we can include this my app one under the installed apps. Then only when we send request from this my app one, then Django server can recognize your request, otherwise not. So immediately I'll do this, sir. Click on Django project 9 p.m. and settings.py. You can see this under the installed app. Only my app is configured, but I need to configure my app one also. Let's see this my app one, that's it. So my app one also configured. So let's close the settings are not required. Now here you can see we can include some more views inside the my app one also. Let's go to view section of my app one, because view is a Python logic. Here I need to create one more view, sir. So to create one more view, so what I'm trying to do, def v1 or any name you can take, request parameter, and in the return I need to get the response from what action server. I'm giving response object in the h1 section. I'm giving clearly this is v1 view from my app one. I'm giving clearly just indication. But look at here http response. Whenever when we use this, it is showing like error. To resolve this, when we place mouse pointer on it, it is asking you to import django.http response. Okay, click on this, automatically the module library is included here. Fine. I'm creating one more view also here. You can see multiple views I'm maintaining here also. Now you can see v2 view is there, v2 view is there, v2 view, and this is v2 view from my app one. Just observe carefully. So I have two applications right now in this project. One is my app, next one is my app one. Inside my app views file, it's having two views, v1 and v2. So this is v1 view from my app, I can write, okay, so that you will get clarity from my app. And this is a v1 view, sorry, v2 view from my app, I can say that, from my app. So fine, sir. So this Django project is having two applications. One is my app, next one is my app one. Inside my app views, two views are there, v1 and v2. Inside my app one, two views are there, v1 and v2. Fine. So to work with both applications, we need to include what? Both application related views in the URL section. Generally URL section, where it is there, inside the Django project 9 p.m. by default urls.py is there. You can double click on it and you will be able to get URLs, and you can see this right now, v1 views.v1 views.v2, which is coming from my app only. But I need to use my app one also, no? So look at here, my app one, I'm giving here my app one import views like this, my app one import views. So what is the problem in this case? Just observe. v1 is there, views.v1, views.v2 is there clearly. Okay, both applications are same name, not possible. Duplicate name we can't give, no. So here both applications are not same name. My app is there, my app one is there. That is what we can't give the name of the same name only. That's not. So now we can see here my app is there, namespace here, my app one is there. But look at this, whenever we send request after click on link, client sending request, Django server can recognize the URLs. It will go to urls.py. But right now two applications I imported views from my app, views from my app one only. But which view v1 is going to be called? v1 is related to my app one or my app? Obviously my app one, sir, because recent module, this is recent application, what we included, that v1 v2 will call, sir. Look at this. When we go to start server, now this time you can see you are getting response from my app one, v1 v2. Okay, page not found. Then I can go for what? Actually v1 I'm giving v1. Response is coming from which application, sir? This is v1 view from my app one. Even if I try to give this v2 also, look this v2 view from my app one. So both responses are coming from what? My app one only. Yes, that's what. That is correct. You are saying right. Both application are having same view names. That's what it's naming convention, naming problem only. That is the reason. Okay. So in this case, I can recommend application level URLs. Yes, application level URLs. Okay, that is what I recommend. So for example, you can see this. You can go to here. I'm including this one from my app one first. Okay, my app one first, and later my app is available. Now this time what you will get? My app import views are there. Okay, it will come from my app request only. V1 is coming from my app, V2 is coming from my app. Again, you can see this. Let's start the server and reload the server. Go to browser here. So let's click on this link. Now this time what will happen? You can see when we go for V1. Okay, so V1 slash, it's now coming from, this is V1 view from my app only, sir. Now when we go for again next time V2, look at this. V2 I'm using. This V2 also getting response from what? My app only. So this is the problem where we can use. Okay, no name error. So it is coming clearly, not a problem. So because only one application at a time we can able to work on it. That is the matter here. So we have two applications. Okay, but my app one is there, my app is there. Recent module is going to be affected, calling recent module only here. So that's what here v1 is coming from my app only. Okay, so they, in this case, I can recommend to go for application level URLs. That is where we can go for application level URLs is recommend. Got my point? Application level URLs will recommend, sir. Application level URLs. So what application level URLs? Application level URL means each and every application, if you have separate URLs, then it will be easy to manage which application URLs do you want to work, that application URLs easily you can able to use it. So that is where I recommend application level URLs clearly. Okay. So let's see this application level URLs, how we can able to work with. So right now we are in project level URLs only, sir. You can see this urls.py project level URLs only. Okay, but application level URLs means, so each and every application we should create separate urls.py. So then which application URLs you want, you can run it easily, flexibility. So let's create a urls.py under every application. Right now you can see under every application by default urls.py will not be there. You have to create. How to create? Right click on my app, go to new, click on Python file and name it urls.py. Okay, again here we are trying to create URL patterns here, but to create URL patterns, look at here, from django.urls import path we have to use. If you don't know how to write this for the first time, you just compare with the project level URLs by going here. Look at this django.urls import path. You can copy paste from here to your application level URLs clearly, no problem. Okay, and now you can see here I'm trying to set the my application views. So my app import views also I'm including. So URL patterns. Even if you don't know this also, you just go to project level URLs and copy this one totally. You can edit it, no problem. So I'm writing one URL patterns equals to, now here I'm giving path. And the name also clearly mentioned v1 view I want execute. So views.v1 only. Next, coming to this, I'm using path v2 view I'm using, then now you can see views dot v2 I'm using. This is very clear, sir. So my app is having separate URLs and view names also clearly mentioned. Good. Same thing. Let's copy this application, my app application URLs, because no need to create again under my app one. You can copy also, no problem. Copy paste. So urls.py, right click on my app, copy this urls.py, and same thing you can paste under your application one also. Right click on app one, my app one, and paste it here. Simply you can paste it here. Same thing you can get it here. You can see urls.py. Here you can edit it. Now this time your application level URLs are my app one only. So here v1, v2 is there. Fine, sir. But once you have separate application level URLs, but compulsory, the request goes to first project level URLs only, sir. After that, it will redirect to particular application URLs. Which application URLs do you want to run? So first two application level URLs, my app URLs, my app one URLs, compulsory we should include under project level URLs. Now this time project level URLs, no need to use these things directly, sir. Okay. And look at here, let's cut this. So we have to include inside this project level URLs, application level URLs, you have to include it because all applications are belongs to project only. So the all application URLs we have to include once inside the project level URLs only, because first the request will reach to project level URLs only. So how to include means we have to use include method, which is coming from django.urls, and you can see this path I'm using. And here also two applications are there. No? That's what better to give names only. If you don't give name, what will happen? You can see this. So I'm not giving any names, but look at here, include my app dot urls. That is file only. Again, I'm including one more application level URLs. Include my app one dot urls. That's all. Now this time you can see when we start the server, when we click this request, the request goes to Django server. Server will redirect that urls.py directly project level URLs. Project level URLs, what URL is having no name? First URL, my app URL. So my app URLs will execute directly first, not my app one. Look at here when I hit this. So directly my app URLs now. So now you can see admin v1, v2 is there. No, so let's give the v1 only /v1. Which app URL v1 is coming? My app URL v1 is coming. v2 also I'm using. You can see v2. Which application URL is coming? My app URLs. What about my app one? No, because the names are not available. In case if you want to use my app one, so again you have to use first my app one, later my app. That is not good. So that's what clearly you can mention here URL names or endpoint or resources, my app / here also I'm giving my app one /. So this is perfect. So user can decide which application URLs he wants to run by hitting this link, and it will wait for your request. Now user decided like my app /v1 /. So this is v1 view from my app. In case user wants to run my app /v2, this is v2 view from my app. Suppose user wants to run my app one /v1. So it is v1 from my app one. Again, my app one /v2. So v2 view from my app one. So here only we can decide clearly which application views need to run clearly here. So this is where we can use application level URLs instead of project level URLs. Strongly recommend to use application level URLs most of the cases, because Django project contains multiple applications, especially whenever you're dealing with multiple applications under one project. So better to maintain each and every application separate URLs. And in this URLs, we can also include multiple views, names also we can include, no problem. That is fine. But make sure that don't forget to include this application level URLs into project level URLs. Compulsory how to include every application whenever you start, when you create. So compulsory that URL section we have to include one time. Once we include, then Django server can recognize this application level URLs. Immediately it will find application level URLs and it will go there and respective view will execute here. So V1 is there, V1 will call from this view section only here. So right now we discuss only request and response up to view only, sir. Even I have not introduced models.py, template and database, everything. Later session, it will come clearly. So only we are sending request to server, server identify the URLs based on the URLs through only respective view is calling, view through we are sending request and getting response, HTTP response only. So this is about Django execution process and how to maintain the view logic and how to get the response from particular view and how to work with multiple views in one application, how to work with multiple application in one Django project. Okay. So this is about today's session. In tomorrow's session, I'll show you more examples. Along with, I'll explain you clearly what is the importance of these all files. Okay, ASGI, asynchronous gateway interface, URLs, uniform resource locator, WSGI, web server gateway interface, admin.py means what, apps means what, models means what, test means what, everything will explain in detail in tomorrow's session. So tomorrow is the last session of this demo lectures, 5 sessions complete. And after tomorrow, if you wish to join my lectures continuously, Django REST API continuously, so you can contact Durga sir for enroll this course after enrollment only. So you can able to join in further sessions after tomorrow. Then only you will get a link, that is GoToMeeting link, otherwise not. You can decide it. Okay. So that is the case. If you have any question, you can feel free to ask me now.
Hello, sir.
Tell me.
Sir, ఇప్పుడు Python, Django, web technology, REST API, salary ఎంత ఉంటుంది సార్ స్టార్టింగ్?
It depends on what we can say, applying a job like as a fresher or experience, it depends on, and also based on its company also, like if entry level company salary is varied and it's a
అంటే మినిమం సార్, మినిమం స్టార్టింగ్ ఎంత ఇస్తారు? ఏ చిన్న కంపెనీలు అయితే వాళ్ళ దాన్ని బట్టి ఇస్తారు, పెద్ద కంపెనీ అయితే మినిమం ఎంత ఇస్తారు? అంటే పైథాన్, ఓన్లీ పైథాన్ మీద జాబ్స్ ఉన్నాయా సార్?
Yeah, you can also try with only Python, because actually many of the companies are going to be have to handle that different related project like machine learning, artificial intelligence, or DevOps, or AWS, and a network program testing. In that cases, Python code is also required, and as a Python developer, you will get an opportunity. In that cases also, you can able to try with only Python, not a problem.
Okay.
But if you have a complete knowledge on Python based frameworks also, it will be add an advantage, more opportunities, there may be chance.
ఇప్పుడు ఓన్లీ పైథాన్ అయితే సార్ సాలరీ ఎంత ఉంటుంది స్టార్టింగ్?
So we can't decide, because the thing approximately it's around, I can say, if you go through fresher, then 4 to 5 lakhs they may give only fresher. And
Okay.
if you are putting some experience like 2 to 3 years experience, it's go around 8 to 10 like that only.
ఓకే. ఇప్పుడు పైథాన్, జాంగో, రెస్ట్ ఏపీఐ, వెబ్ టెక్నాలజీ ఇవన్నీ ఉంటే సార్ స్టార్టింగ్ ఎంత ఇస్తారు?
It's completely full stack developer. Obviously, full stack developer role.
ఇప్పుడు మనం జాంగో నేర్చుకుంటున్నాం అంటేనే ఫుల్ స్టాక్ కదా సార్, అంతేనంటారా?
No, actually the thing is full stack in the sense Python programming language one is required, and the Django web framework is required, and along with the UI like HTML,
అంటే
CSS,
HTML, CSS,
Bootstrap,
జావాస్క్రిప్ట్, బూట్స్ట్రాప్, jQuery
jQuery.
ఇవన్నీ కంప్లీట్ గా వచ్చి ఉండాలి అయితే యూఐ టెక్నాలజీస్ మొత్తం.
No. Actually, the thing is complete not required for Django level. But in case if you have idea about completely, then it's also good, no problem. But we can able to manage with the basics only in Django, not required.
అవును.
And after that, REST API is required, mandatory. This is extension of Django, and Flask framework important. That is also for microservices, micro framework we can say. That is also web development framework.
ఇప్పుడు ఒకటి వస్తే ఇంకోటి ఈజీగానే ఉంటుంది కదా సార్. ఇప్పుడు ఒక లాంగ్వేజ్ వస్తే ఇంకో లాంగ్వేజ్ ఈజీగా అర్థమైనట్టు, ఒక ఫ్రేమ్ వర్క్ వస్తే ఇంకొక ఫ్రేమ్ ఆటోమేటిక్ గా అర్థం అవుతుంది కదా సార్. అంటే అంత ఎక్కువ టైం తీసుకోదు.
Yeah, obviously. That is, all frameworks are different, but coding almost all frameworks, Python related code only is there, no? So that's what same thing. But
ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఇప్పుడు పైథాన్ జావా సి తీసుకున్నారు అంటే జస్ట్ సింటాక్స్ డిఫరెన్సెస్ అంతే. టాపిక్స్ అయినా ఏవైనా ఇంకా సేమ్ గానే ఉంటుంది. లాజిక్ అనేది సేమ్ దేంట్లోనైనా, కాకపోతే సింటాక్స్ డిఫరెన్సెస్ ఉంటుంది అంతే.
that's what. But in
ఇప్పుడు ఇవన్నీ కలిపితే సార్, ఇప్పుడు పైథాన్ అయితే 4 to 5 ఉంటుంది. ఇప్పుడు పైథాన్, జాంగో, యూఐ ఇవన్నీ కలిపితే స్టార్టింగ్ ఎంత ఉంటుంది సార్ సాలరీ?
I can't comment it, but you are asking forcefully so that see, full
ఊరికే
stack
ఊరికే ఒక రఫ్ వర్క్ సార్, ఊరికే అట్లా
so
అంతే.
full stack developer obviously is fetch based on salary also, because full stack role will be the multiple roles you have to do in project. So obviously the person should get more package compared to only Python exclusive developer like that. You
సార్
can
ఇప్పుడు పైథాన్, జాంగో, ఐ మీన్ నేను చెప్పినవన్నీ అవన్నీ కలిపితే ఒక 50 lakhs ఇస్తారా సార్ ప్యాకేజీ?
what you are saying? It's not no.
అంటే 50 లక్షలు నేను చెప్తున్నాను.
No, that's not correct. So that's don't expect that much actually, because you should have that lot of exposure. So at least minimum 10 plus years experience, then there may be chance to get. But
సార్ ఎందుకు సార్ ఇప్పుడు మరి ఫ్రెషర్స్ కి, ఇప్పుడు మా అక్క వాళ్ళ పాప ఉంది, ఆ అమ్మాయి 25 lakhs తో ఏం చెప్తున్నారు, వాళ్ళకి అంతంత ప్యాకేజ్ ఇస్తున్నారు మరి ఫ్రెషర్స్ కి?
see, that is a different issue, because that they will conduct more exams, certified exams they'll conduct, and they'll give training that much extent level, then they can hire the fresher candidates. Yes, you are asking right only. So is freshers candidates are getting huge package, how there? Because their knowledge. So they are going to test their knowledge in extreme level. Okay. So that's the reason, based on that they can capture, they'll conduct more tests for them. So they should qualify the test and they should pass the test. Then only huge demand will be there, like that.
Okay.
See, so many
సార్ నా
companies
గోల్ సార్
also
ఎట్లయినా సరే ఇవన్నీ నేర్చుకొని 50 lakhs ప్యాకేజ్ కొట్టాలని. ఆల్రెడీ నాకు పైథాన్ వచ్చు కంప్లీట్ గా, అట్లాగే జంగో లైట్ గా ఐడియా ఉంది. మీరు చెప్పేవన్నీ నాకు బాగా అర్థం అవుతున్నాయి, అంటే ఆల్రెడీ నేను నేర్చుకున్నాను కాబట్టి. ఇప్పుడు రెస్ట్ ఏపీఐ, యూఐ కూడా నాకు బాగానే వచ్చు కాబట్టి నేనేమన్నా అంటే ఇవి మొత్తం ఒక 10 to 15 lakhs ఇస్తారు అంతేనా సార్?
see, the thing is your target should not be like that. Okay, your target should not be on package. Your target should be a company, like what the company you are focusing, that is very important. Then
మైక్రోసాఫ్ట్,
that,
గూగుల్
yes,
కొడితే పెద్ద కంపెనీలే తీసుకోవాలి సార్. చిన్నవి వస్తాయి, కొంచెం నేర్చుకున్న చిన్న కంపెనీలు వస్తాయి, కానీ పెద్ద కంపెనీలు కొడితేనే కదా
that is
మంచి
what
ప్యాకేజ్ వచ్చేది. అంటే కంప్లీట్ నాలెడ్జ్
better to focus on that target companies only. Okay, if you go through normal level companies, what you are expecting, then they might not be fulfilled. So that is
okay sir.
So they are actually the freshers candidates. So many top level MNC companies will hire fresher candidates because of with huge package, because they'll filter like that only. So they
అంటే సార్ నాది ఎప్పుడు అయిపోయింది అంటే, నాది 2009 లో అయిపోయింది బీటెక్. కాకపోతే నాకు మ్యారేజ్ అయ్యి పిల్లలు పుట్టిన తర్వాత నేను స్టార్ట్ చేశాను. అంటే ఇప్పుడు నేను ఈ 10 years ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ ఏమైనా పెట్టుకోవచ్చా కంప్లీట్ నాలెడ్జ్ గెయిన్ చేసిన తర్వాత?
No, that's not work out. And last 5 years we can able to suggest you to keep the experience. But 10 means they'll ask questions like this, what you did from last 10 years onwards. So 10 years experience if you put, means you should be in a higher level position in company, so they'll expect more from you. So you have to satisfy that things.
అవునులే, కరెక్టే సార్. ఎందుకంటే నాకు ఇంగ్లీష్ కూడా ప్రాబ్లం ఉంది, నేను సరిగా కూడా మాట్లాడలేను. సబ్జెక్ట్ బాగా చెప్తానులే గానీ, పర్ఫెక్ట్ నేర్చుకున్నానులే గానీ కొంచెం. కాకపోతే ఈ ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ లో మా పిల్లలే చాలా బాగా మాట్లాడతారు.
Okay, no problem. That's not an issue. So communicate with properly. It's not a big deal. So English is not a problem. So you can communicate. You just try to make others understand. So that is better.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, fine. So that's all for now today. See you tomorrow. Have a nice day.
Bye, sir.